Welcome to this reading of Chapter 2 from Heal Thyself by Edward Bach, a pioneering work exploring the connection between our emotions and overall well being. Join me, Brilliancy Amirjan, as we delve into this insightful chapter to unlock the path to a healthier, more harmonious life. Chapter 2. To understand the nature of disease, certain fundamental truths have to be acknowledged. The first of these is that man has a soul which is his real self, a divine, mighty being, a son of the Creator of all things, of which the body, although the earthly temple of that soul, is but the minutest reflection, that our soul, our divinity who resides in and around us, lays down for us our lives as He wishes them to be ordered, and so far as we will allow, ever guides, protects, and encourages us, watchful and beneficent to lead us always for our utmost advantage, that He, our higher self, being a spark of the Almighty, is thereby invincible and immortal. The second principle is that we, as we know ourselves in this world, are personalities down here for the purpose of gaining all the knowledge and experience which can be obtained through earthly existence, of developing virtues which we lack, and of wiping out all that is wrong within us, thus advancing towards the perfection of our natures. The soul knows what environment and what circumstances will best enable us to do this, and hence He places us in that branch of life most suited for that object. Thirdly, we must realize that the short passage on this earth, which we know as life, is but a moment in the course of our evolution, as one day at school is to a life. And although we can for the present only see and comprehend that one day, our intuition tells us that birth was infinitely far from our beginning and death infinitely far from our ending. Our souls, which are really we, are immortals, and the bodies of which we are conscious are temporary. Merely as horses we ride to go to a journey, or instruments we used to do a piece of work. Then follows a fourth great principle, that so long as our souls and personalities are in harmony, all is joy and peace, happiness and health. It is when our personalities are led astray from the path laid down by the soul, either by our own worldly desires or by the persuasion of others, that a conflict arises. This conflict is the root cause of disease and unhappiness. No matter what our work in the world, boot black or monarch, landlord or a peasant, rich or poor, so long as we do that particular work according to that dictates of the soul, all is well. And we can further rest assured that in whatever station of life we are placed, princely or lowly, it contains the lessons and experiences necessary at the moment for our evolution, and gives us the best advantage for the development of ourselves. The next great principle is the understanding of the unity of all things, that the Creator of all things is love, and that everything of which we are conscious is in all its infinite number of forms a manifestation of that love, whether it be a planet or a pebble, a star or a dewdrop, man or the lowliest form of life. It may be possible to get a glimpse of this conception by thinking of our Creator as a great blazing sun of beneficence and love. From the center, an infinite number of beams radiate in every direction, and that we and all of which we are conscious are particles at the end of those beams, sent out to gain experience and knowledge, but ultimately to return to the great center. And though to us each ray may appear separate and distinct, it is in reality part of the great central sun. Separation is impossible, for as soon as a beam of light is cut off from its source and ceases to exist. Thus, we may comprehend a little of the impossibility of separateness, as although each ray may have its individuality, it is nevertheless part of the great central creative power. Thus, any action against ourselves or against another affects the whole, because by causing imperfection in a part, it reflects on the whole, every particle of which must ultimately become perfect. So, we see there are two great possible fundamental errors: disassociation between our souls and our personalities, and cruelty or wrong to others, for this is a sin against unity. Either of this brings conflict, which leads to disease, an understanding of where we are making an error, which is so often not realized by us, and an earnest endeavor to correct the fault will lead not only to a life of joy and peace, but also to health. Disease is in itself beneficent and has for its object the bringing back of the personality to the divine will of the soul, and thus we can see that it is both preventable and avoidable. Since we could only realize for ourselves the mistakes we are making and correct these by spiritual and mental means, there could be no need for the severe lessons of suffering. Every opportunity is given us by the divine power to mend our ways before. As a last resort, pain and suffering have to be applied. It may not be the errors of this life, this day at school, which we are combating, and although we are in our physical minds may not be conscious of the reason of our suffering, which may us to appear cruel without reason, yet our souls, which are ourselves, know the full purpose and are guiding us to our best advantage. Nevertheless, understanding and correction of our errors would shorten our illness and bring us back to health. Knowledge of the soul's purpose and acquisitions in that knowledge means the relief of earthly suffering and distress, and leaves us free to develop our evolution in joy and happiness. There are two great errors. First, to fail to honor and obey the dictates of our soul, and second, to act against unity. On account of the former, be ever eloquent to judge others, because what is right for one is wrong for another. The merchant whose work is to build up a big trade, not only to his own advantage, but also to that all those whom he may employ, thereby gaining knowledge of efficiency and control, developing the virtues associated with each, must of necessity use different qualities and different virtues from those of a nurse sacrificing her life in the care of the sick, and yet both, if obeying the dictates of their soul, are rightly learning those qualities necessary for their evolution. It is obeying the commands of our soul, our higher self, which we learn through conscience, instinct, and intuition, that matters. Thus, we see that by its very principles and its very essence, disease is both preventable and curable, and it is the work of spiritual healers and physicians to give, in addition to material remedies, the knowledge to the suffering of the error of their lives and of the manner in which these errors can be eradicated, and so to lead the sick back to health and joy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share and subscribe to Ami John for more inspiring content. Your support means a lot. Stay tuned for more.